Welcome to episode 21 of the Provenance Marketing Show. I'm your host, Ryan Jennings. I'm also the Executive Director of the Buy New Zealand Made campaign. Before we get started, just want to say New Zealand Made Day is coming up on the 21st of November. It is a shopping day where New Zealand manufacturers like these ones will offer great deals and retailers will be putting up signs about what's New Zealand made in their stores and in their supermarkets. First up is a company called Rolla-wipa. These guys do a very specific niche product. And what it does, because we were down in Christchurch filming for the Making It New Zealand episode for Rolla-wipa last week, is this little device here goes down a roller.
You have to use your imagination. Just finished painting a black wall and you're holding it by the top and with the Rolla-wipa, and then you're just pushing it down, turning it around. You can see that your hands are miles away from it and that you can see how much paint is actually coming out of it. So it's quite a bit.
It puts a lot of paint back in there. You'd be surprised how much. In fact, these guys, Brett and Kate, have tested this, exactly how much paint goes back in. 77% goes back. So on average, that's about 1/4 litre of your brush paint that's going back in the tin to be able to reuse for next time. It means it's not going down the drain into the environment, whether it's acrylic or enamel paint. So these guys have done a great job. Brett in particular, it was his idea. He brought this to fruition as a professional painter, and that means it's got little things that you wouldn't normally expect, such as at this edge here, this is the opener. So this is how you open the can of paint. They've sold tens of thousands of these. Amazing for home DIY. If you've got a renovation product, you've just picked up some paint from Mitre 10, Bunnings or Placemakers, make sure you pick up one of these. They're in stock at most of those places. And then you'll be away. You're going to be saving on painting, saving the environment, and keeping yourself clean too, because this keeps you away from the brush. Next up we have, this is a product called the Microdesk from the Good Use Company. And I love that name, the Good Use Company. And they're putting this to good use. So this solves the problem of if you're sitting at your desk and you're slouching around or your neck's at the wrong angle because of where you're putting your paper and where your screen is right in front of you. So if I was front on to this, I would be able to put my notes up here. I'm looking down here and then back at the screen, so there's less movement. That's much better for you. This has actually been endorsed by the Australian Physiotherapy Association, and I think it's actually been designed by a physiotherapist. So I'm not sure if that's Sarah or Chris Mahoney, but that's the co-owners of this company. They've sold quite a lot of these. These have been going very well for them. They've sold over 100,000 of them in 12 countries around the world, just because it saves on that neck pressure from looking down here to looking up at the screen. So yeah, let's leave that. Go on to our last one. Again, we did some filming for the Making It New Zealand series, this time in Wellington, and the company is called TNR Systems. They make these amazing things. You'd never guess what this is for, because it looks like art, but it's not, or it could be used as that. These are wool acoustic panels. This is a first for New Zealand. This takes not the high-end merino, but it takes that next level down and crafts it into a pattern with a polyester back on it, and this gives it some form. So when you're in a room, a meeting room or a boardroom, you get a lot of echo because of the walls and the sound that bounces backwards and forwards. What these panels do is absorb the audio as it's coming through here as you're speaking.
This is 65% absorbent. So as it passes through this panel here, it comes out, it has to change back to airborne sound. It is then reflected off the plasterboard behind or whatever surface you've got behind, changes direction, has to change again as it travels through the panel for a second time. So we're going back to vibrational sound, and then we only have 35% left.
You can very easily put a few of these up in your meeting room or boardroom and take away that tinny sound, which ultimately is great for our well-being in the workplace and not a big investment to make that happen. Hedda Oosterhoff is the National architectural manager there. She has a background in classical performance violin, would you believe? So she knows what she is talking about. This is the name of the particular product, Flock 3D, and you can find that at flock.co.nz. Many in the industry will refer to spec sheets in terms of the performance or acoustic performance. These guys have really gone 10 steps further and Steve set up a different company to build one of the only acoustic testing simulation environments in Australasia, based in Christchurch, which is going to open up very shortly. And this outperforms anyone in the industry. What I like about it is it's also natural, so it's absorbing chemicals from the environment rather than expelling chemicals into those office environments. Right, so that is the 3 products for today. Just before we get on to Q&A, I wanted to show you something I think is really good. I'm not a big one for print advertising, but I saw this over the weekend. Duncan Grieve, who's the managing editor at Spinoff, tweeted about this ad saying, "Is this a mistake or is it genius?" And through the Buy New Zealand Made account, I replied within a few minutes and said, I think it's genius, only because our Kiwi trademark is on there. But a lot of people have seen this equivalent on the TV show, and I was talking to Anna before, that I think this is their strategy. And I like it because in a noisy world with everything else on the page, this is one of the only ones that stands out. I mean, I like this. Now, here's another ad for New Zealand Made products with the shower dome. You've got the little blue and red classic Kiwi there. But it's a different type of ad. You'd expect to see that. I would never expect to see a blank page, and I think that is why it works. Anyway, on to some questions.
Hi, I would like to know if we can change the logo text from black to white.
You can change the logo text from black to white. You can reverse the whole black and white logo. So if we look at this one here, you can take anything that's white on there and turn it black, and you can take anything that's black on there and turn it to white. Not a problem at all.
Hi, I would like to know if we are able to receive the Kiwi logo without the triangle backdrop, as we are incorporating this into our nameplates.
Short answer is yes, if you're a license holder, so you have the rights to label with the Kiwi trademark, yes, you can use it without the triangle. If you want to embed it in your product, just think about that it's there for a long time. So you're likely to need to pay the annual license fee for as many years as you're branding and selling that product. That's it. That's all the questions we have for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you very much. You can subscribe by going to iTunes and searching for the Provenance Marketing Show. On YouTube, we're youtube.com/BuyNZMade. If you're watching this on any of the social news feeds, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for next week, which is episode 22.